Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome to my channel, Forging for Balance. In today's yoga session, we'll be doing about 40 minutes of gentle yoga with really nice deep stretching. So, if you're feeling like getting a little flexy today, grab your mat and let's get started. Find yourself a comfortable seated position on your mat. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's cross-legged, one foot in front of the other, maybe your legs out in front of you, it doesn't matter for the moment. I want you to close your eyes and do a quick check-in head to toe, noticing how you're feeling, if any parts are tight or sore. And then check in mentally. It's okay if you're having a rough day and you showed up on your mat and you're taking care of yourself. If you're having a great day, fantastic. Let's keep it going. And then let's open up the eyes and we'll do some gentle stretching. Let's take our right ear over to our right shoulder and maybe rest your right hand on top. Beautiful. From here, let's let go. Roll chin down to chest, looking toward your belly button. Lengthening through the back of the neck. And then let's roll over to the other side, left ear to left shoulder. Again, maybe resting a hand on top. Let's come back to center. Then I want you to reach your right hand out in front of you like you're saying stop. Left hand's gonna come in. Make sure you grab part of your palm and not just your fingers, right? Because I could just bend my fingers back without stretching my wrist at all. So we want to make sure we're stretching the wrist. Okay, here we go. Beautiful, let's release. Point those fingers down. We're gonna pull them in toward us. Feeling the stretch along the back of our wrist here. All right, release, shake that hand out. All right, let's try with the left hand. Reach it forward like we're saying stop. Right hand comes in. Pull back, stretching the inside of your wrist. Okay, let's release. Point your left fingers down. We're going to gently pull toward us this time. Right, stretching the back of our wrist. Let's release, shake it out. Okay, from here, let's take our hands out to the sides. We're going to start our flowing warm-up, getting some bigger movements in the body, getting warm. So inhale, lift that right arm. Exhale, reach it to the left. Inhale, come back through center, switching arms. Exhale, left arm reaches right. Right, keep flowing side to side, following your breath. Finding that stretch along your sides. And we're just introducing some movement side to side in that spine of ours. And last round. And we'll meet back in the middle. Perfect. From here, let's reach our hands out in front of us, palms facing each other. Inhale, take both arms up overhead. Exhale, twist to the right, bringing your arms down. Inhale, up and center. Exhale, left, and bringing the arms down. So we're finding some rotational movement through the spine. Also warming up the shoulders a little more. Okay, final round, here we go. Back to center, and let's bring the arms down. From here, I want you to take your hands behind your back. I'm going to turn so you can see it a little better. Hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Sitting nice and tall. See if you can straighten your arms. And then see if you can lift without leaning forward. So we're helping open up across the front of our chest here. And release. From there, let's bring our hands to our knees. And we're going to go into seated torso circles. But first, let's swap our crisscross if you're sitting crisscrossed. We tend to be creatures of habit and always crisscross the same way. So one way feels normal. The other way might feel very, very wonky. But, we want to try to even ourselves out as much as possible. So hands on the knees. Shift your weight to the right. Inhale as you come across the front. Exhale as you hit the left and scoop across back over to the right. All right, so keep circling with your breath. Last one. All right, then let's take our body over to the left side. And we're going to inhale as we come across left to right. Exhale as you scoop across the back, right to left. Okay, finish it up. And we'll come back to neutral. From here, let's bring our knees together. And we're going to tip to one side and find our way to our hands and knees. So you want hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Spread your fingers nice and wide so we have a solid base here. And we'll go into our cats and cows. So for a cow, you're going to lift the tailbone, let your belly droop, open up across the collarbones, and look forward. Finding cat, we're going to exhale, chin to chest, press the mat away, rounding the spine, tucking your tailbone. All right, keep flowing from one to the other. Let's do two more. Coming back to neutral. Let's sit our hips back to our heels for a moment, reaching those arms long. Getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch here. Let's work into some flow to really, really warm up our bodies now. We're going to inhale, find tabletop. Exhale, tuck those toes, press up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, table. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose. All right, continue. I want to really find heat in the body here. next time you find child's pose, let's just meet there, taking a quick break. Then we're going to head to the best, most beautiful downward facing dog that you can muster today. Right, so we're going to tuck those toes, lift the hips up and back, really lengthen through the spine here. See if you can reach your heels toward the mat. Then let's inhale, lifting right leg. Exhale, bring knee toward nose, stepping that foot forward as far as you can. You can use your hand to help it. You could also grab blocks if that helps you get a little more space. Okay? So we found this beautiful low lunge. You can keep your hands on the mat if you'd like, or maybe rest them on your thigh. Really feel that stretch through the front of your left hip. If you don't feel anything, feel free to slide that left knee back a little bit till you feel the stretch you're looking for today. All right, wherever you're at, I want you to shift back till left hip comes over left knee. Straighten that right leg out and point your toes to the ceiling. We're going to fold forward over that front leg, finding our half splits. Try to lengthen through the spine as you do so. We're not just diving our head to our shin. Okay, from here, let's bend the front knee again, bringing our ankle under the knee. Plant our hands on the mat. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee. Now, if you had a hard time getting your right foot up here, you might take both hands to the inside of your right foot to give you space to swing around. Otherwise, head back just the way you came, finding that downward facing dog. And let's inhale, lift the left leg high, knee to nose, step it to the top of your mat. Adjust as necessary. Drop your right knee to the mat, untuck those toes. And you can choose to stay folded forward or come up and rest your hands or forearms on your thigh. Note I say rest, I'm not slumping into my shoulders here. I want to keep long through my spine. You're doing great. Okay, from here, let's shift back till left knee comes under the left hip. Extend that right leg long, flex the toes. We're going to fold over the left leg, finding half splits on this side. And you may notice that your flexibility is vastly different from one side to the other. And that's okay, that's where you're at today. Hopefully over time, it'll even out a bit. Alright, from here, let's bend that front knee. Finding our lunge again. Plant your hands. Tuck your right toes. Lift that right knee. Send your left leg back. Finding downward facing dog. From here, let's walk our feet up toward our hands. And I want you to take your feet out toward the edges of your mat. Turn your toes out about 45 degrees. And we're going to sit back and down, finding our yogi squats. Now your squat might be higher than mine. That's perfectly fine. All right. But if you make it so that your arms can come inside your knees, make sure you're pressing your elbows into your knees, really opening through the hips. Great job. Let's bring the hips back up. Heel toe those feet in, finding a standing forward fold. Maybe relaxing the neck, shaking it no, nodding yes. Maybe grab opposite elbows and kind of dangle. Feel the lengthening happening along the backs of your legs. All right, let's bend our knees. Plant our hands. Walk your feet back. Finding downward facing dog. From here, let's drop the knees, keeping those toes tucked. Sit your hips back onto your heels. Make sure all those toes are working. Sometimes those little toes like to sneak out and not get in on the stretch. We're in toe squat here, stretching the bottoms of our toes, bottoms of our feet, nice and tall through the torso. If this is really uncomfortable, feel free to fold forward a bit and relieve some of the strain. Okay, from here, let's all fold forward a bit, finding ourselves on all fours again. Then we're going to work on puppy pose and thread the needle, starting with a puppy pose. So keeping hips right over the knees, slide your hands forward, trying to bring your chest down to the mat. Really reach through your arms and try to keep them about shoulder width apart. Okay, let's come up, walk your hands back in, so we're on all fours again. Then we're going to thread the needle. So taking your right arm, slide it under your left armpit, all the way down till you come to rest on the outside of your right shoulder and the right side of your face. Your left hand can stay right where it is, or it can reach long out in front of you. Right, if you are reaching your left arm out in front of you, let's bring it next to your face again. Press into the mat with that left hand. Slide the right arm out, bringing it back to the mat, back to all fours. Okay, from here, let's head to the other side. So we're going to take this left hand, slide it under the right armpit till you rest on the outside of your left shoulder, left side of the face. Again, your right hand can stay where it is, or reach it forward. If you're reaching forward, let's bring the right hand next to our face again. Press your right hand into the mat. Bring your left hand into the mat, back to all fours. We're going to head back to our puppy pose. So slide those hands forward again. We're going to add a variation. So let's bring your hands, palms of your hands together, interlace your fingers. Let's see if you can bend at the elbow, bringing your hands up as far as they'll go. So we've switched up where you feel that stretch a bit. And release. Take your hands apart again. Let's walk them back into all fours. Okay, from here we're going to head back to that downward facing dog. So tuck your toes. Press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. I'm just going to move forward on my mat a little bit here. Right, it's just as you need to. We're going to head to half pigeon. So I want you to lift your right leg. Bring your weight forward, bringing right knee to right wrist. That right ankle can sweep in a bit. It all depends on you. And slide the left hip back, untuck the toes. So we can sit up here in our pigeon, or you can choose to come down. If this is your first time, I encourage you to try them both. See which one you like better. For me, it just hits different spots. So some days I choose one, some days the other. All right, we're going to do some magic here. Sit your hips over to the right. I want you to move your right knee so it's facing toward the top middle of your mat. Now we're going to bring this left leg, swing it around. See if you can bring your left heel next to your right hip. Right heel's next to your left hip. If this is not working for you, it's okay if it's kind of this position where your knee is up still. Or if this is just really not happening, I want you to straighten your bottom leg. All right. So here we are. And then if you like, we can add a little bit of opening through here. You can bring hands behind your back, palms together, and see if you can flip so your fingers are pointing up your back for some reverse prayer hands. All right, if you're doing reverse prayer hands, let's release that. Shake them out a bit. If you have one leg straight, I just want you to switch your leg situation. So switch it up so that your right leg is on top. Okay? If you're in this situation with me, we are going to do a really fun magic trick to get to this position on the other side. All right, so take your hands over to the right side of your mat. You're going to press into the mat. Come up on the balls of your feet. Walk your hands around, 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 around. Keep going till you get all the way back to the front of your mat. And hopefully you have found yourself back in this cow face leg position with the right leg on top. All right. So again, if you'd like, you can add those reverse prayer hands we talked about. Since reverse prayer hands is symmetrical, you can choose not to do it on this side, even if you did it on the other side. You can also give yourself a little foot massage. right, we have to head back to Pigeon because we haven't done Pigeon on this side yet, right? So I want you to sit to your left, straighten out that right leg. If you had your bottom leg bent, bend it, or if you had your bottom leg straight, let's bend it now, bringing your left heel over to your right hip. Right leg is going to swing back behind us. Left knee can move out to the left of your mat a little bit, tilting this leg however in or out you want. Slide that right hip back, and we have pigeon pose on the other side. Again, you can keep your half pigeon up here or take it down to a sleeping version. And from here, let's all shift our weight into our left hip. Swing your right leg around to the front and find yourself in seated staff pose. The legs are active, toes to the ceiling, sitting nice and tall. Inhale tall. Exhale, let's fold it forward from the hips, reaching for your toes, taking whatever comes your way, because no magic happens down with these toesies. Really try to lengthen through your spine here. We want to get that movement from the hips and not from diving head first toward our legs. Inhale, come up nice and tall again. Then bend both knees, bringing the soles of your feet together. Okay, so let's find our butterfly here. So you can bring yourself to your feet or your feet to you. All right, really opening up those knees. Now, if you're already pretty open, you can choose to fold forward here. And if you do, I want you to inhale. Everybody inhale nice and tall. If you're folding forward, remember to get that action from the hips. So, whole upper body moves together as a unit. Know that it's okay if one leg's a little higher than the other. Most of us are not perfectly symmetrical beings. In fact, I think all of us have some, imbalances. It's part of being human. All right, let's sit up nice and tall. Bring those knees together. We're just going to windshield wiper side to side. All right, and then we're going to head to a straddle. So take those legs nice and wide, toes to the ceiling again. Let's turn and face our right leg and fold over it. You can rest your hands on the mat around it. You can reach for those toes. Notice where you feel the stretch. For me, it's along the hamstring and a bit on the inside of my opposite leg. Might be a little bit different for you. let's bring our torsos up. Untwist, and we're going to turn and face the left leg, folding over it, really lengthening the spine, reaching toward the toes. Maybe you've got your thigh, maybe you've got your shin, your ankle. Wherever you're at is where you're at, and you're working it, so it's a perfect place to be. Next, inhale, let's sit up, untwist. We're gonna go right up the middle this time. So inhale tall, exhale, fold it forward from the hips, keeping those toes to the ceiling. They like to roll in sometimes here because they don't want to do the work. But let's keep those toes to the ceiling. Great job. Coming up nice and tall again. Let's bring hands under the knees. Oh, bend them, bring them together. Little windshield wiper again. And then if you're like me facing the long edge of your mat, let's pivot and face the short edge of your mat. If you're already facing the short edge of your mat, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's slowly roll on down onto our backs. Beautiful. From here, let's do a little happy baby. So we'll tuck knees into chest. Maybe give yourself a little rock side to side to start. All right, we'll become stationary. Take those knees a bit wider out towards the armpits, soles of your feet toward the sky. Now you can hold on behind your thighs, or you might be able to reach up and grab your feet. Right, wherever you're at. Pull, bringing those knees down toward the floor by our armpits. Don't worry, I don't mean for them to actually get there. If they do, cool. Mine certainly don't. All right, and your baby can stay stationary or gently rock side to side. Let's find some stillness. Release your hands from your feet or your thighs. Tuck your knees into your chest again, giving yourself a hug. And let's release, letting our feet come down to the mat. From here, we're going to go into a spinal twist. So you take your arms out into a big T if you have space. If you're a little space challenged, you can turn them into cactus goalpost arms, or even take them overhead and grab opposite arms. From here, let both knees fall over to the right, keeping your shoulders grounded, and turn to look to your left. On your next inhale, let's bring knees and eyes to the ceiling. Then exhale, take your knees over to the left as you turn and look to your right. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. Slide the legs out long. Reach your arms overhead, taking a big full body stretch. And then let's settle in for Savasana. So let those legs come apart a bit. Let your feet fall in or out, whatever's most natural for you. Let your arms relax down near your sides, palms up. And take any small adjustments you need here to feel even more comfortable. Whether that's just scooching a body part a little bit, grabbing a pillow, or covering yourself in a blanket to stay warm. I invite you to close your eyes or gaze at the ceiling with no focus. Try to release any remaining tension from the crown of your head, your face, neck. Let your collarbones open up. Breathing is relaxed, belly soft. Arms and legs are heavy. They don't want to go anywhere. Know that thoughts will enter your mind here, and as they do, try to let them pass on by. Now is the time for you to just be and to be fully relaxed. There'll be plenty of time for all that mental chatter when we're done. And let's try one big breath in. Breathe in that relaxation. Exhale out that tension. So spend a few minutes here in silence, and then I'll slowly guide you out of our Savasana. Alright, our time in Savasana has come to an end. I invite you to take a deep breath in and let it out, maybe with a sigh. And invite gentle movement back to the body. Whatever feels good to you in this moment. And when you're ready, let's bend the knees, bringing feet flat on the floor. And then roll to one side, pausing to take a breath or two there. When you're ready, slowly press your way back up to a comfortable seated position. And from here, let's seal our practice, taking hands out to the side, palms up. Inhale, scoop up all that good flexy, stretchy feelings, all the positivity you gained in today's practice, and bring it down to your heart. I wish you peace, love, and happiness. Thank you for sharing this experience with me. Bye till next time.